Chapter 49. The Master at Cossipore. Wednesday, December 23, 1885. On Friday, December 11, Sri Ramakrishna was moved to a beautiful house at Cossipore, a suburb of Kolkata. The house was situated in a garden covering about 5 acres of land and abounding in fruit trees and flowering plants. Here, the final curtain fell on the Master's life. At Cossipore, he set himself with redoubled energy to the completion of the work of spiritual ministration he had begun long before at Dokkineshwar. Realizing that the end of his physical life was approaching, he gave away his spiritual treasures without stint to one and all. He was like one of those fruit sellers who bring their fruit to the marketplace, bargain at first about the prices, but then toward sunset, when the market is about to close, give away the fruit indiscriminately. Here his disciples saw the greatest manifestation of his spiritual powers. Here they saw the fulfillment of his prophecies about his own end. I shall make the whole thing public before I go. When people in large numbers come to know and whisper about the greatness of this body, then the mother will take it back. The devotees will be sifted into inner and outer circles towards the end. And so on. Here he predicted that a band of young disciples, with Narendranath as their leader, would in due course renounce the world and devote themselves to the realization of God and the service of humanity. The main building at Cossipore had 2 stories, with 3 rooms below and 2 above. The Master occupied the central hall of the upper story. A small room to the left was used at night by his attendants. To the right of the hall was an open balcony where Sri Ramakrishna sometimes sat or walked. On the ground floor, a hall just below the Master's and a small room to the right of it were used by the devotees, and a small room to the extreme left was occupied by the Holy Mother. In the garden compound were some outbuildings, 2 reservoirs, and pleasant walks. Sri Ramakrishna breathed more freely in the open air of the new place. Almost all the devotees had gathered by this time. They had started coming to him in 1881. By the end of 1884, Sharad and Shoshi had become known to the Master, and since their college examinations in the middle of 1885, they had been visiting him almost daily. Girish Ghosh had first met the Master in September 1884 at the Star Theatre. Since the beginning of the following December, he had been a constant visitor, and it was during the later part of December 1884 that Sharoda Prasanna first visited the master at the Dakshineshwar temple. Subodh and Shirode first visited him in August 1885. The young devotees had taken up their quarters at the garden house to tend Sri Ramakrishna, although many of them visited their own homes every now and then. The householders came to see the master almost every day, and some of them occasionally spent the night.